Welcome to a new test and teardown video. This time it's a much more modern piece of equipment. The INSTEK model GFG-8019G. Oh, this is difficult to get in focus due to the reflections and all that. It is a function generator with a built-in frequency counter. As far as I understand, this is how you can use it. There's also a voltage control input-output, and also some modulations and carrier this or that, and also a sweeper. So we've got sweep time, sweep width, and all that. We got quite a lot of additional features up here. Duty cycle, offsets, and yeah, the normal amplitude and all that. We got square wave, sawtooth, and sine wave, and 7 ranges from 1 to 1 megahertz. And it was from about 1995. This one is a little bit yellow from the sun. Also, we can see here at the side. Look at that. That will be the handle. The shadow from the handle. So in this area it didn't get that much sun. And let's see, at the other side it didn't get that much sun, so it's not so visible. Isn't that really funny how some types of plastic is just very badly affected by sun. And here at the back we got a little bit of the control voltage output. I think that is what it is. And it is set for 220 volts. This also reveals it's a little bit old. So yeah, we definitely need to open and inspect what is the status inside this unit. So this is a classic example of a plastic cabinet or case. And of course they need to add these conductive aluminum stickers here. So now it is shielded. And there's, as you can see, here's a little scratch mark from this part. And this part goes down, and there's of course another one here at the bottom. And then there's a piece of metal here that connects this to the protective earth down here. And then there's another wire that is going to the front part here, where there's also a piece of metal so that everything is connected together. So this is something you need to remember when you're designing something in plastic cases, because when you come with your cables there will be a static discharge, and that static discharge will distribute a high current throughout your instrument and just make it go absolutely into lockups and blow-ups or whatever. So that is why you solve it with all these big hefty pieces of metal, and of course many wires. Here we got many wires and many connections to the ground down to everything again. And there's a funny little voltage adjustment here. So this one can be set for 240. So this is what I will do. So it's not running at over voltage. It looks quite normal. Nice and clean. That will probably be the output amplifier for the 1 megahertz drive. And they're of course running these transistors at a high bias current to get all this speed. We got a little bit of power supply. So you can see some op amps and stuff like that. So that's probably some power supply. We got another little 5-volt regulator there. And everything is, yeah, pretty nice and fine. Yeah, tons of op amps and all that. No big surprise. No CPUs or anything like that. Capacitors just thrown in like that. Well. So this is the little distance holder. And this is, yeah, you can see what happens here. So this holds the circuit board. Flip like that. And then one screw through the cabinet, and then everything is just assembled with just 4 screws, as fast as possible and as cheap as possible. That is, of course, a good way to do it. And oh, did I forgot? I think I forgot to mention. I found one for sale for $325. I don't know if they're a little bit crazy or they will really evaluate it to be that expensive. Oh, look at that! A 10 megahertz crystal mounted to the ground plane metal directly up this 5-volt regulator. Is this so that it will be dependent on the temperature of the regulator, or this is maybe so that it will be warmed up by this one and then not so much be affected by the temperatures? I mean, you can definitely see this is what they're trying to achieve because of why is this out of focus always? Let me get some light. I don't know. There is some metal down there. So that was the main idea. Can't really pull this other board up. What I wanted to show is this frequency counter chip. And it's also driving the displays and all that. So it's a pretty good way to read out whatever frequency you have in a nice and accurate way. Have a little bit of, I think I'll try and clean this a little bit. And there's a fuse on the, this is the main output. So if you put this into something with a high voltage or some nasty thing, then you probably blow the fuse before you blow up the output amplifier. And then look at that. What is this? Why is this wire? This is probably not how it's supposed to be, is it? This is weird. Let's try and test this and see what happens. So it is, yeah, I did exactly figure that out. So it's the main transformer is always powered on. So when you plug this in, there's always power going through the transformer. So that is about 2 watts of idle. And then we can turn it on and yay! We got a signal. And is it supposed to look like that? Let's see what have we done. So this is sine wave. I was hoping to be able to read the frequency, and now it's reading the frequency. So that has something to do with internal or external counter. So if you disconnect the counter, so like that. So now it's internal counter. We have the 1 kilohertz range. So that means this is what I would expect. See, it says here 1K. So why don't I get 1K? That I don't understand yet. Maybe we have something else running. So here's the duty. What is that? The duty cycle can also affect. Aha, so now it is in calibration. So that has something to do with duty, and duty cycle also affects the frequency. That is a little bit annoying, isn't it? So if you want to change the duty cycle, look at that, you need to poke around with this as well. Okay. So that is now a nice sine wave. And then we put this in the middle. Okay, that is good. So we have 1 kilohertz output when the frequency dial is in the middle. And this one is in 1K. Okay, what else can we play with? So this is the TTL output. We're not yet playing with that. This is the offset. And I did not enable offset. So now I enable the offset by pulling. So many of these knobs you can pull to activate all sorts of features, and that will be. And there's no loose connections in the pot meters. Oh, look at that. I'm very happy about that. What else can we do? So this is, oh, that is beautiful. And that is, of course, how duty cycle works. Square wave. Real nice and fine. Okay, there is a little bit with this one. Oh, look at that. Oh, let's play with them, the sweep and all that. So look at this. So this is the small FM modulations that we can do. But we can also do mega sweep by pulling the frequency dial. And then it goes into mega sweep. And then, of course, all the dials here for the speed and the width. Not so much. Now this one is of course not working because now we are in sweep mode. How about that? That took me a little while to figure out. Look what's happening now. So this is frequency modulation, right? Where we modulate the carrier. See? Oh, nothing and then a lot. But this thing here, and this is the width. It's not affecting the width. This is the. But look what it can do as well. So this one can also do AM modulation. Then you can again select how much you want. And then you select, I haven't yet figured out exactly. This one don't seems to be. I think it takes a little bit of time to figure this out. We got too many knobs to poke with. So that is modulation and what have you not. Maybe this modulation, oh, also, well, anyway, I think that is what I wanted to show about this thing, because otherwise it's just going to be a little bit too boring, me sitting here and poking around with the knobs. And thank you very much for watching so far. See you around. Bye bye.